And she can take a hat. Give it up to my girl. Urban Light Snoop, you know how to sound that. The headline. And the edge up, you know what I'm talking about?
Already.
Give it up to my girl, Stacy. Give hell, Stacy.
Look, C, no, B. Be the shining root that introduces our rights as duty as a union of people. Equal, dominated, liberated for the situation. At 5, 6, and 7 years old, I was told by my educators about the wonderful things done by Martin Luther King, but I had no idea. I didn't know that I would grow along with my peers, pieces of the puzzle and products of the struggle. I didn't know that a man of such honor, though an early death was his fate. Did y'all know it wasn't until 10 years ago that his birthday was actually observed in all 50 states? Just 10 years ago. And though the magnitude of his dreams brings continual rays of hopes and spiritual means, you know me, I want more. You know why? Because he wants more. For only 10 years ago, it would be hands down, no complaint, that this black man who skipped the 9th and 12th grade and entered Morehouse College at 15 would touch the millions that he did with I Have a Dream. And just so it's known for the observation of his day, yeah, it was Ronald Reagan who opposed. And that was just the beginning, because Congress vetoed winning 338 to 90 in the House of Representatives and 78 to 22 in the House of Senate. But then 1983 through 1986, it went back and forth through the system because states still have reluctance. In 1990, Arizona's own John McCain said we shouldn't dare create such a day, but his reasons had no justified standing, so we later had to recant it. And the crazy thing is, few argued the actual holiday. The major concern was that America couldn't be off work and still get paid that day. Real talk, willing to lose the message and the money, and it pisses me off. And I share the frustration before engulfing the celebration so you don't ever forget or take advantage of the fact that we can say his name without knowing the potency and the substance and the caliber in Martin Luther King. Excuse me, Dr. Martin Luther King. Not just a black man with a mustache that has every beaten down street in the hood in every city named after him, but an icon. Not just a reason we did a 3-day weekend, but a special paid way for hidden hate. And as decent human beings, it is incumbent that we seek, define, and live in his spirit, or it will domesticate the message. MLK say, in our fight for freedom, let us not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the highest plane of dignity and discipline. As a nation, we have to come to the realization that freedom is inextricably bound to everyone. And I agree. If you're not free, then I'm not free. When will blacks be satisfied? No, the question is, when will the majority stop feeling guilty? Because in 2009, little black kids got robbed of their dignity when permission slips went home to hear our first black president address the school systems. Really? I'm not trying to take away and say the MLK's dream didn't come to pass, but when we are placed in and place each other in doubtful situations, can we sing free at last? When we see our brothers and our sisters struggle with them bullets called pride and we shoot it back at them, because we can't show any parts of being weak. But the tactic is appearing weak as being conscious, empathizing with those who work with less. So should we shower them with strength or leave them to dangle in neglect, or are we scared that we are powerful beyond measure, so we suppress? And then there's the distress. And ultimately, we have not escaped being oppressed. The dream extends to impend greatnesses, mothers, fathers, granddaddies, and grandmamas, uncles, aunties, brothers, sisters, cousins, friends. The dream didn't and doesn't end with Mr. Barack Obama. The dream continues with teachers, you and me, and you don't have to have a degree to educate. The message is engraved, deep embedded in our souls, inherited from our ancestors who were slaves. The dream is so real. That's why I have a dream too. Facial tissue isn't the issue, it's the mentalist people we need to get through. Martin Luther King made me see, way before Abraham declared us free, we were led to believe that we were evil and unkind and unruliness in our blood, that we could only carry out hatred. But we weren't the ones preparing nooses, not allowing other races beyond the gate, so I'm not confused anymore. I know the Emancipation Proclamation simply meant get your shit, you are free from this plantation. Because 100 years later, yet and still discrimination had our nation at two ends, and this man, dare I share his name again, brought to the white man, the black man, the red man, the yellow man, the tan man, hands in the bound by one man. And why? Why was he being jailed? Because his dream was too much to ask. Equality wasn't in the forecast, so what was? Had Martin Luther King not said, hold on, wait a minute, I got a voice. And in a sense, we have come to this nation capital to cash a check. And when the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall here. This was a promise that all men, yes, white men as well as black men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And though many black men and women have accomplished great things, the impact runs deeply from Dr. Martin Luther King, because he wouldn't leave in the flesh without us knowing his dream. He said, with faith, soon our dangling discords to the nation will be a beautiful chord of symphony. And I feel that day in Memphis, he knew he would leave us to meet our Maker. And I implore you, and me, and us, and we, to try to visualize the core of the dream, to upholding the dignity. Not saying that we fell down, but Martin Luther King stood us up for decades. Even from heaven, he's been our crutch. So now I lend his spirit one, and I have to, from the bottom of my heart, say, happy birthday, MLK, and I'm sorry it took so long for me to understand the testimony to why I should really observe your day. Because you're not just a black man with a mustache that has every beaten down street in the hood named after you, but an icon. Not just the reason we get a 3-day weekend, but a special paid way through hidden hate. And as decent human beings, it is incumbent that we seek, find, and live in your spirit, or it will domesticate your message forever.